Let's be honest, this is not what evolution intended. Have you ever wondered how a fierce, agile, solitary predator, built by nature to survive deserts, hunt with silence, and live independently, turned into this? A flat-faced, chronically ill, overly groomed ornament we carry around like a luxury item? And the worst part, what happens next? What does the future hold for cats in the next 200, 500, or even 1,000 years? It's a disturbing question, but one that deserves our attention. Because behind every cute Instagram photo of a Persian or Scottish fold, there's a harsh truth most of us don't see. Before we start, subscribe to Infinite Discovery for more eye-opening stories about animals, nature, and the world around us. Personal reflection, the question that won't go away. I've always loved cats, their elegance, their independence, their silence. But as I got older and started to look deeper, I couldn't help but ask, what have we done to them? Why do some cats look so unnatural? Why do they suffer from chronic illnesses, joint issues, and even trouble breathing, all because of how they were bred? How did we take a perfectly evolved predator and turn it into an animal that can barely survive without human intervention? This video is my attempt to explore that question and maybe get you to ask it too. To understand where we went wrong, we need to understand how far cats have come. All domestic cats today trace their lineage back to a single species, the African wildcat, Felis libica. This animal was lean, fast, and adapted to survive in desert climates. With sharp claws, incredible night vision, and a body made for stealth, it didn't need humans. If anything, humans needed it. Thousands of years ago, when humans began storing grain, it attracted rodents. And where there were rodents, cats followed. But unlike dogs, they didn't beg for scraps. They didn't try to befriend us. They just did their job. They killed the rats, and stayed close to the food supply. That's how the first bond was formed. A silent agreement between species. And eventually cats made their way into homes, temples, and even religious iconography. In ancient Egypt, cats were considered sacred, not because they were cute, but because they were useful, independent, and powerful. They were protectors, they were hunters, they were survivors. But somewhere along the way, something changed. We began to see cats not for what they were, but for how they looked. And when humans start valuing appearance over function, things go downhill. We began selective breeding, not for health, not for intelligence, but for traits that pleased us visually. Shorter noses, larger eyes, fluffier coats, smaller bodies, and in some cases, like the Munchkin cat, shorter legs. At first it seemed harmless, even adorable. But as we've seen with dogs, playing God with genetics never ends well. Let's start with one of the most popular breeds, the Persian. Elegant, royal, photogenic, Persians are everywhere on social media. But that squashed face and teary-eyed look? It's not cute. It's the result of brachycephaly, a skull deformity that causes chronic breathing problems, excessive tearing, and even eye ulcers. And that beautiful long coat? It doesn't shed naturally. These cats require constant grooming, just to prevent painful matting and skin infections. But it gets worse. Over 30% of Persian cats suffer from polycystic kidney disease, a hereditary condition that slowly shuts down their organs. Their faces may look calm, but many Persians live in discomfort their entire lives. And yet, they remain one of the most sought-after breeds. Why? Because we've been conditioned to associate cute with good. But biology disagrees. Scottish fold, the hidden pain behind folded ears. Now let's talk about the Scottish fold. You've seen them, those irresistibly cute cats with folded ears that make them look like eternal kittens. But those ears are a red flag. They fold because of a genetic cartilage defect. It doesn't just affect the ears, it affects the entire skeleton. Scottish folds often suffer from osteochondrodysplasia, a painful condition where their bones don't develop properly. Many experience joint stiffness, lameness, and even arthritis at a very young age. It's the equivalent of being born with a body that slowly collapses on itself. And yet, breeders continue to create more, because demand is high and the look is profitable. Munchkin cats. Cute mutation or cruelty? What about Munchkin cats? They look adorable. Tiny legs, compact bodies, waddling like kittens. But those legs are the result of deliberate genetic mutation, one that limits mobility and puts stress on their spine and joints. Many suffer from lordosis, a spinal condition, and pectus excavatum, sunken chest. Both conditions can severely affect their breathing and quality of life. We look at them and smile, but nature didn't design cats this way. We did, and we didn't stop to ask whether we should. The tragic pattern, just like the dogs. Just like with dogs, the more purebred a cat is, the more likely it is to suffer. Because when you limit the gene pool, When you repeatedly breed animals for specific traits, you increase the chances of genetic defects. It's why so many purebred cats suffer from dental crowding, heart disease, respiratory problems, blindness, infertility, and shorter lifespans. And yet, the breeding continues. Why? Because we're not choosing cats for their natural abilities anymore. We're choosing them for aesthetics, for novelty, for status. They've become accessories, props, social media trophies. What have we lost? Think back to the original wildcat. It could survive in the desert, hunt with precision, climb, jump, stalk, and live without anyone's help. Now compare that to a Persian that can't clean its own eyes, or a Scottish fold that can't walk without pain, or a Munchkin that can't even climb a sofa. We've taken an evolutionary masterpiece and made it weak. We've turned survivors into dependents. It's not the cat's fault, it's ours. Let me be clear, I have nothing against Persians, or Scottish folds, or Munchkins. They're not the problem. We are. We're the ones creating the demand. We're the ones funding the breeding. We're the ones choosing form over function, looks over life. And most people don't even realize it. They see a cute face and assume the cat is healthy. They're not told about the surgeries, the medications, the suffering behind the smile. What can we do? So what do? First, educate ourselves. Understand the difference between natural breeds and man-made ones. Ask questions before adopting or buying. Second, adopt, don't shop. Millions of cats in shelters need homes, and most of them are mixed breeds, which means healthier genes and longer lives. Third, change the culture. Stop promoting designer breeds as luxury pets. Start talking about the reality behind the aesthetics, because the more we ignore the truth, the more these animals suffer. In just a few thousand years, we've taken the cat from desert hunter to pampered prisoner. And if we're not careful, we'll keep designing animals that look cute on the outside, but are broken on the inside. So, before you fall in love with a flat face, a short leg, or folded ears, ask yourself, what does that cat's life really look like? We say we love them, but love means wanting what's best for them, not what looks best for us. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to Infinite Discovery for more thought-provoking content about animals, nature, and the hidden stories behind the world we live in, because they deserve better, and we can do better